Aloha gang, Dr. Russ Rosen here. Welcome to the OC Community Masterclass. Today we're going to be dealing with how to run a successful business and get your team on board. I'm going to go ahead and comment right here. Let me know if you are here and if you have any questions. Wow, that was fast. Okay, and then I'm going to look over here because the delay, etc. And we'll see if anybody's showing up and asking questions. Okay, so let's see if you're there. If I'm there, I'm there. Great. Okay, so Dr. Russ Rosen, we go live 3 Tuesdays a month right here, 1:30 California time. We dive into these different classes, and you're welcome to be here and to ask questions, etc. If you want to go deeper in any of these subjects, just put club below. I'll give you a free month in the club, and we go into extreme detail, and I give all of these kinds of things and these kinds of things in there. So today we're going to talk about really how to grow a team, how to run a business, and how to build a dream team, and how to get our team on board if we have a team. Now, I know that we all want to help as many people as possible. We want to get the best results we can. Hopefully, you also want to make a lot of money in the process, and you want to have a lot of ease and a lot of fun. And I know that that can sound contradictory, but you really can. You really can have it all. The reality is most of us don't know how to run a business. We have real challenges with staff of 3 things. Whenever I ask doctors, what's going on when they call me up for help, the one of the 3 is always staffing problems. And I promise you, if you do the things that we're going to be covering in the next several weeks, you can fix those problems. So today we're going to be talking about what a team is, how to get your team on board, how to install an operating system into your practice. So I want you to think of it as, Windows 11 versus Word, or, a game that you play. That's a software. I want to install a new operating system into your practice so you can run any software you want. But we know what happens if you have an old operating system that is not working well, and then you try and put a new game on it or a new software. It just doesn't work right, and we need to fix that. So over the next several sessions, we're going to talk about how to hire. We're going to talk about bonus systems, performance appraisal systems, how to train our teams, how to do meetings, marketing, series of talks, flow and growth, bringing on associates, etc. That's what's going to happen actually over the next 3 months. So the step 1 is understanding the new version of what teams are and how to get them on board. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. Okay, so we'll get to that. So here's the overview of getting the team on board. Step 1, I need to get them on board philosophically. I need them to understand very clearly what it is and why we do what we do in our practice. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do what you do? If you haven't been through the importance of certainty, go to the guides section, go through the importance of certainty, and that's something to go through with your team to help you guys get really clear and on board. The reality is, if they don't get what you do, they don't buy it, they don't have buy-in, it's really hard for them to sell what they don't own. So it's critical to get them on board philosophically. Step 2 is, do they actually want to grow the practice? And more often than not, they don't. We'll talk more about that. And then step 3 is, how do we set and achieve meaningful objectives? So we're going to dive into those 3 right now. So I had mentioned the operating system. If you've ever read the book The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, there is one by my old brother Frank Savinsky, the E-Myth Revisited for chiropractors. I don't know if there's ones for naturopaths, osteopaths, acupuncturists, etc. Certainly the one by Frank, who has passed away since, but that one would serve you really well, or just the E-Myth Revisited. But they talk a lot about this dropping in operating system, and that book really shows you how to do it, along with what we'll be going over in the next several weeks. So I wanted to just kind of give you a new concept of teams. It's different than it was 20 years ago. It's different than it was 30 or 40 years ago. Absolutely. Right? So with the advent of, Google and just different workplaces, it's a different experience. And these new millennials and Gen X's and all that, they're not going to be happy working at a place where it's I'm the boss and you're a lowly serf. It's got to be something different. And in his book, Michael Gerber talks about, it's a group of people who work together as a team, who support each other to do their very best. It's a group of people who are well trained, highly motivated, and passionate about growing the practice. Again, if that's not who we have, we either need to get them there or let them go and bring on people who will do that. But these are people who get it, they love it, they want to grow the practice. So my goal is to help you grow your practice, to serve more people, make more money, save more lives, and with a lot less stress and a lot more fun. Again, counterintuitive, I know, but if you do it the way I'm going to recommend, you will see that happens. So I have a basic rule of thumb which goes like this. We're going to serve more people in less time, making more money, getting as good or better results. We're never going to compromise where we're going to do shoddy work. We're never going to compromise where we're not going to get as good of results. So we're always going to get as good or better results. But I promise you, for most of us, we can serve more people and get better results in less time if we're really present, time conscious, focused, and we've got a team doing the things the team can do, and the doctor is doing what only a doctor can do. Just some thoughts on that. So in Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, he talks about, the difference between McDonald's and a mom and pop burger joint. And he says, speaking of burgers, I didn't just have a burger. He says 75% of new businesses go under in their first year. That was shocking to me. 75% of new small businesses go under in their first year. 85% of franchises are still in business 5 years down the road. That's a tremendous difference. Why? Why is that? What does McDonald's have that the mom and pop burger shops don't have? They have a better burger? I don't think so. They have better systems. It's all about systems. And so we're going to be looking at installing this operating system into your business, into your practice. I have seen weak doctors with weak staff and they suck. Makes sense? I've seen great doctors with weak staff who never really make it. I've seen great staff with people who even admit they're not the greatest doctor in the world that thrive. And I've seen great doctors with great staff that, of course, really strive. What we want is great doctors with great staff. But I promise you, the staff is that important. It's more important than most of us recognize. And when we have the right team, fully trained, fully motivated on board, it's amazing how much life gets better. All right, so let's take a look at these 3 steps. Step 1 is get the team philosophically on board. And again, if you'll go to the guides section, you'll see the certainty module that we did. I can't recommend enough that you go through that with your team, but they need to be clear about who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, why you don't do other things. I used to marvel in Maui, we had really 2 different kinds of service. There was the local population where the service at restaurants and stores pretty much sucked. And then you had your 5-star restaurants and hotels, which it was excellent service. There was a place called Liberty House, and they had a Clinique counter. So that's a makeup that women use. And the Clinique counter was phenomenal. These women were amazing. They did makeovers. I used to stand and watch and listen. They were so well trained. And then when they were alone, I would just go talk to them about, what they were doing and how they were trained, etc. And the one thing that came across with all of them is they love Clinique. They all wore it. They all used it. They all told all their friends and family to use it. They were 100% Rosenites, they were Cliniqueites, they were behind it 100%. If your team doesn't really get what you do and they're not 100% behind you, if they don't understand why do you use the techniques you use. What styles of work, hands-on work do you do? Do you use brain work, neurofeedback? Do you use functional nutrition? If they don't understand that stuff, they can't sell it, and they're the front of your business, right? So it's a critical piece of the puzzle to really get them on board. Step up. Okay, and there's headspace and procedure. That's the headspace component. Go through that module. And then the procedural component. So the procedural component is the book, the E-Myth. It's the next modules we'll be going through. Bonus systems, how to hire, performance appraisals, how to train, meetings, all that kind of stuff we'll be going over through in the next several weeks here. And that's more of the procedural component. Step 2 is, do they want to grow the practice? Now this is an interesting one because more often than not, they don't. To them, serving more people, growing the practice means more work. And many of them are stressed out as it is. So the last thing they want to do is touch that hot stove. The last thing they want to do is get more stressed out than they are right now. So they can sabotage your practice in a million ways that you have no idea it's going on. But they can keep your practice from growing. So one of the first things I need to do with the team after I know that they understand philosophically is I got to look at this and say, here's my work load, here's my ease, tools, skill level, and time. So if I have more to do than I have time, I'm going to be overwhelmed and stressed. If I've got all the time in the world and hardly anything to do, I'm going to be bored. What I want them to be is in the zone, okay? So we'll always look at this concept of if they're stressed, they're not going to want to grow. So the first thing I need to do is reorganize and make space. I need to reorganize and make space so that we can then grow the practice. So it's a real simple process. Reorganize, make space, repeat. Reorganize, make space, repeat. Okay, now, if you're in here, we go into extreme detail in the club about goals and the business frame, etc. So if you want to dive deeper into this, just put club below. Also, if you would like access to my goals program, it's an entire program that I sell, just put goals below. I'll send you that program, and that'll give you a lot of great information. The third piece of this is, how do I set and achieve meaningful objectives? So that's what I meant to say right here. If you want to understand more about the goals, either jump into the club, which is Thursdays at 11 California time, 3 Thursdays a month, and we record them, and or put goals below. So if you want to jump in the club, I'll give you a free month. Put club. Other than that, just put goals, and I'll get that program to you. So what we need to do when we set our goals is we need to clarify where we're at right now. I happen to have a stat sheet which tells us patient visits per day, patient visit average. You can look at your startup rate. You can look at your close rate. You can look at how long they're sticking around, where they're dropping out of care. If you're interested in those stat sheets, let me know. I'll send those to you. Just put stats. So the classic mistake that everybody makes is they set these goals without asking everybody, are you bored, stressed, or in the zone? So step 1, are you bored, stressed, or in the zone? If everybody is in the zone or bored, we can move into the growth phase. Otherwise, we have to be in a reorganizational phase, right? So we're going to, most of the time, we need to start with reorganizational phase because you cannot be in growth and defense simultaneously, not on a cellular level, says Bruce Lipton, and not in a macro level in your business. So step 1, reorganize, check everybody, clarify what a small goal might be. In the club, we're going to be diving into great detail about, if you're at the front desk, what are some very specific things you can do to reorganize and make space? If you're a tech CA, what can you do to reorganize and make space? If you're the doctor, the manager, what can you do to reorganize and make space? Okay, so once we've done that, now we go into the growth phase. Now we go into what are we going to do? So 3 ways to grow your practice. 4 if we're talking money. 1 is I can increase my number of new patients. 2, I can increase my sign-up rate. 3, I can increase my retention. So double your new patients, double your practice. Double your sign-up rate. So you had 10 people, 2 signed up for care. 4 signed up for care, you'll double your practice. Double your retention, how long the average person sees you. So take the last 3 months number of new patients divided by, number of patient visits divided by number of new patients, and that will give you the PVA or retention. Average worldwide is right around 20. I want it to be over 100 myself. That's what I would like to see. If you, my one-on-one coaching clients, I want it over 100. So double your PVA, double your practice. So if you're at 20 and you go to 40, you double your practice. But that's going to lead to more internal referrals. People sticking around longer, happier people, more referrals. Now you can see how you quadruple your practice. It's crazy what happens. So we're going to be diving into extreme detail in these subjects in the club. If you would like a free month's access, let me know. Just put club and I'll give you access to the club. If you would like the access to the goals program, just let me know. I'll send that to you. And if you would like access to the stat sheets, let me know that too. So I'm going to check here. We got Dr. Schmidt. Aloha, good to see you. Dr. Howard, good to see you. That's me. I'm going to click this little gizmo and see if there's any questions. I want you to let me know. If you're watching this on the recording, just go ahead and comment here. I promise you I will respond. Okay, so that seems to be the scoop. Let me get over here. I hope you found value. I hope that you will let other people know about this program. It's free. It's great information. If you go into the guides section, you'll see all the master classes that we've done. You can jump ahead. You can jump back. We just got through communications, visit 1, visit 2, daily interaction, re-exam, re-report. So hope that helps. As always, much love and aloha. Bye, gang.